Hey there, it's good to have you back in the studio with me again. Well, today we're going to be painting a vertical canvas, it looks like, and as always I've got my primed canvas all ready to go here. I've got a very thin layer of titanium white on top of it, very thin. I use a little bit of linseed oil to thin it out, and then I just brush it over the entire canvas, and that way the paint goes on much easier when we finally apply those first layers and, well, second layers and all that. Ooh, I got a little bit of a drip on my paint here. Let's go ahead and wipe that off. Sometimes your paints get a little oily because the paint separates and, well, the oil starts dripping down, and sometimes they put a little bit too much oil in this. Happens a lot with a color like ultramarine here. So, sometimes you just got to get out the paper towel and wipe it up. It's not really a big deal. Anyway, let's go ahead and, oh boy, it's dripping again already. God, I can't win today. This color is not going to let, this color's got a vendetta against me, I swear. Ultramarine, you devil. Alright, well, let's go over all the colors that we're going to use today. We've got chrome yellow right here, vermilion here, titanium white, ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, and phthalo green. All my favorite colors, and with just those 6 colors, well, 5 plus white, we're going to paint the most wonderful things. Well, let's go ahead and begin with a little bit of a sky color today. I'm going to get out my 2-inch brush, and with my 2-inch brush, I like to use a brush that is made with natural hairs. I tell you guys a lot. I tell you a lot. Get a brush with natural hairs because it works so much better. You will be so thankful that you use a natural hair brush. I'm getting a little tongue-tied today. A natural hair brush, because the hairs don't separate quite as easily. This is just an average, everyday house painting brush. That's all it is. Not a brush made for fine art or anything. You can find this in a hardware store, maybe. Depends if they sell natural hair brushes. Now, you can get pretty decent results with a synthetic brush. I've used synthetic brushes before, but I like a natural hair brush. Let's go ahead and get the other 2-inch brush right now, because that one's got a little bit of medium still on it. A little bit of that odorless turpentine. And I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna pull out some of that ultramarine, and I'm gonna pull it out because I want a lot of paint on these bristles, but I also want to pull out that phthalo green, because we're gonna get some phthalo green in with our blue here. Now, I don't want to pull the blue right right into, or get the green into the ultramarine blue there. I want to keep this a pretty, kind of a bluish green that's somewhere in the middle right there. I want a lot more blue to the green. We're going to create a color that's, well, very, very much in the middle. It's going to be like a cyan hue or a teal hue. I just feel inspired to do that today. I feel like that'd be a really neat color to have. And I think I've got the color pretty well set right here. Let's go ahead and, just with the little strokes here, let's just do some little strokes. Little X's. Little X's. Yeah, just like that. Ooh. Look what a nice color we've got already. And just little X's. Little X's. You don't have to go ahead and annihilate all the white on the canvas there. You just want to, maybe, we'll get some of that dark color up in there. There, that's cool. I like that. Now we've got this canvas. It's a little smaller than some of the ones I've been working on recently. So hopefully this painting is not going to take so long as it seems to usually take me. Well, I don't mind if it does, because I have fun doing this. I mean, if you don't have fun doing it, well, maybe painting's not for you. Either that, or maybe you need to find a different way to paint. Because I know how it is. Everyone's got their own thing they want to do. I'm going to go all the way down to, we're going to go down to about here, I think. Yeah, we're going to do some crazy stuff today. I know I say that a lot, but we're really going to get crazy today. Yeah. Okay. FYI, I am painting over the canvas that I've already painted on, as usual. And you know how I like to do that, because sometimes I have a canvas that can still be used, but the painting I already did on it, I don't really like. And if you've got a painting you don't really like, you can go ahead and do that too. I'm just going to get some more dark color up here. Now remember that when you paint your skies like this, the dark color is always darkest over here at the top. The blue hue as it goes down, is going to get lighter, lighter and lighter. Now just a little bit of FYI on that one. So start up here, just like this. Okay. Then you go down, doing your little X's. You can even do this with a smaller brush if you really want to, because it might be a little easier. I probably should have gotten my 1-inch brush out. And then, you know, go down, and by the time you get to the bottom, it's going to be much, much lighter. Okay, so we got that. Now let's go ahead and put that down. We're not going to wash it quite yet because we still got some stuff we want to do. Let's take the 1-inch flat brush now, again, natural hairs, and let's take the slightest touch of vermilion. Slightest touch. Actually, let's go ahead and pull out a little bit of white here, because I don't want to get too much vermilion into my white paint. I want to salvage that white paint as best I can. And you want to get the lightest touch of vermilion here. The lightest touch. It's really important. Now you just want a little bit of that vermilion. Look at that. Look at that. Look how little vermilion there is on there. That's important because the vermilion is very strong and it'll completely get itself all up in that business of that white paint. And we just want to give this a little tint or a little bit of color. Just the slightest bit of color. Look how light that pink is. Oh, that's a lovely, lovely pink, isn't it? Oh yeah, it is. And that's gonna really be the money right there. I love that color. That's just gonna give our paint a little sparkle and zest. And I'm pulling the paint through. I'm pulling it. I'm not tapping it. If you tap the brush, it's going to evenly distribute the color. You want to pull the paint through there and really load up that brush. Okay, let's go up in here, and we're going to make this brush dance. So you just want to, scrub it in there, scrub it in there, scrub it in there. And, you got clouds going every which way and around here. Maybe you want to get another light touch of the vermilion. Pull some more white in there. Who knows? Maybe you got, every so often, you want to go in and reload the brush with a little bit of that color. And scrub it all around and, get it all up in that business. And if you have to add more vermilion when you want to reload the brush, be sure you use a very light touch again. You don't want to overdo it. Because if you overdo it, ooh, look at that. Look at that. That's starting to get interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Whenever you want a really, really light colored cloud, a really, really light valued cloud, because remember, value is lightness and darkness, black and white, but also each color has its own value, with blues being the darkest value. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, blue has the darkest value of any color. Yellow has the lightest value of any color. And red is somewhere in the middle. It's a little darker, but generally it's in the middle someplace. Okay, let's go in here and do some more stuff there, and maybe get a little bit more of that vermilion, and we'll get some more white. And you want to use a light touch on that vermilion, okay? And then we'll go in and we'll swirl the brush around some more, and then we'll go back and get some more paint because we want to keep this light. And that was too much vermilion at time. You see what happens when you get too much vermilion? Oh, you might pay for it if you're not careful. Get too much vermilion, you're going to wind up with a really hot, hot pink. One of those hot salmon colors. All right, let's go ahead and here. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. If you accidentally get too much color in your brush, just kind of swirl it around everywhere in the painting. Pick spots out and kind of cake it on there, like right up here. Yeah, right up there, and then right up here, just like that. It's like a martial art when you're doing it like that. One of those funky dub movies from back in the day. I don't know if they really make those anymore, except for comedy's sake. It's funny to hear all the sound effects that they got in there. All right, let's, like I say, just scrub it in, scrub it in. Let the brush dance. Go every which way. And then maybe down in here we'll just throw some stuff in there, and then maybe up here we'll throw a few things, and And then, oh, I don't know. Let's go down in here maybe, because God knows there's going to be something. And I think we've just about got our base of clouds complete here. Yeah, I think we're pretty well set on that front. Let's go ahead and set this brush down. We'll set it down right next to our already used 2-inch brush, and then we'll get the other 2-inch brush out. You know what we're going to do with this? We're going to do a little bit of cloud service right here, cloud fan service right here. We're going to go around the bottom and swirl the bottom of these clouds out, right? So pick out where you think the bottom of these clouds are. Like maybe you got one that's maybe right there. Yeah, right in there. Just find where you think the bottom of these are, and that's how you're gonna do it. Yeah, go in there and you swirl that around. Yeah, yeah. You just want to use the lightest touch. You want to touch it with the very tip. Look how I got paint on the very tip of that brush there, that 2-inch brush. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. It's no big deal. You just go around and you kind of mist out the bottom of these. You mist out the bottom, and then you turn it up so that we got a flat surface. Ooh, I don't want all my brushes to topple over. Oh dear. Get back on the table there. Picking up a fan brush. There it goes. Like I was saying, take the flat edge of this, okay? And now we're going to give it a little bit of floof. Now the sun is coming from this way, the right, okay? So we're going to floof it this way. Floof, 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 floof. Or you can just go whoosh, 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 whoosh. You can make those sound effects if it helps you. I like to do them because, I don't know, just makes me feel like there's a little bit of action going on. Okay? And now we can just go ahead and, go over the whole thing like this. And we'll smooth it out a little bit. Very lightly though, very lightly. It's not something you want to really overdo here. Okay? Listen to that. How soft that is. It's very light. It's very soft the way I'm handling this. Okay? That's really all you have to do. You don't have to go ahead and murder the canvas or anything. Canvas is innocent. Let it go. Just let it do its thing. Okay? That's all there is to it. So we got ourselves this little sky right here. Let's go ahead and clean up the brushes. I have a 5-gallon bucket here. Some odorless turpentine. I do not use pure gum turpentine or anything like that. Now, pure gum turpentine is very volatile. It's very toxic to breathe in, so it's hard to use unless you have good ventilation. Also, it has a really low flash point, which makes it very flammable. And I'm rubbing my brushes on a grating at the bottom of this bucket. I recommend a steel one. The 5-gallon bucket is important because if you don't use a 5-gallon bucket, it's going to eat through the plastic. So be sure you use a 5-gallon industrial grade bucket so it can handle harsh solvents like this. Okay, now we beat it off. Alright, oops, scraping it on my easel there. And then we give it the old wipe down, as I like to call it. Okay, that's good. And now it's ready to paint again. So now let's get out our other brushes, because we gotta clean them all. Unfortunately, we need them. last brush that we have to clean off. What I do, I dip it in, run the grading, just like that, till all the paint gets off. Right. Then I tap it on the edge of the bucket, both sides, to get the excess off. And then I wipe it on the edge of the bucket to get more excess off. And I beat it on the easel. Then I wipe it on my roll of paper towels, just like that. And now it's ready to use again. Okay, let's go ahead and, well, close this bad boy up. There we go. And let's make some decisions here. What do I want to do? Well, let's go ahead and take the 2-inch brush, one of them, and let's pull down some more of that ultramarine color. Okay, and I'm going to pull out some more of that phthalo green. And then we'll get some alizarin crimson in there. Because what we want now, we're going to create some foliage here. Now I want a little bit more blue to the phthalo green, and I want more of those two in proportion to the alizarin. Okay, so I want to be sure I have a lot of blue for this. There's no shame in getting more paint if you need to. I try not to get more paint while I'm actually in the act of doing this. Now let's go ahead here and block in some shapes. We're gonna go here, and when I do this, I let the bristles bend up. Okay? Let the bristles bend up. It might help to tap the paint into your bristles. Now look how dark that paint is, even though I've got a layer of white on the canvas. That's why we do this. That's why we do this, so the paint doesn't get so dark when I finally put it on. Okay? Now, we're not being real sticklers right now about, you know, where each of these things is going to be exactly and all that. We're just, let me get some more blue in here. There it goes. We're just blocking a few things. And then there's going to be a big old windmill right about there. So I'm not going to block in too many shapes right there. But we are going to block them in all the way up to about here. Yeah, way to about there. Let me go a little higher. There it goes. Okay. There it goes. And twist the brush while you're painting. Twist the brush while you're painting so that it captures all those little things. Maybe there's these little shapes over here while you're bending your bristles that you're trying to get, and maybe there's a little one up there, and you know, maybe there's one right here too. Right about there. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Okay. So we've got ourselves some nice shapes here. Now what I want to do, is make sure that I get the color darker at the bottom, but at the top, it gets lighter. Sometimes I forget myself when I paint these things like this, and I get a little too excited. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And be sure not to overdo it with the alizarin crimson. Don't overdo it with the alizarin crimson. Just get the blue and the green in there. And there. There it goes. Now over here it's a little harder to really gauge. Really gauge all those colors. Here, let's just insert those right there. Yeah, that's good. The windmill is going to begin right about here and right there. It's going to be pretty smack right in the middle of things. Okay, let's go ahead and set that brush down. Now let's get our 1-inch brush out because we're going to be highlighting a few things in a second here. Okay, so we've got a bunch of trees back here. We're going to make more of a middle green color. Let's go ahead, actually let's get the big palette knife out and mix up some color. So we're going to take some of that blue, a little bit of the chrome yellow, and I'm not going to overdo it here. What I might do is take some of that color that we were working with. Yeah, that's the ticker right there. We're going to use some more of that later, but we're also going to get just a little bit of a lizard in there. Why not? Okay. You just want to get some yellow in there. And you know what my rule is? Always make things a little brighter than you think they should be. Now this is going to be a pretty middle-ish green. I don't want to overmix. It's one of my great sins, I like to say, is overmixing. Yeah, overmixing. We can go ahead and get some white in there. Just to liven this up a little bit. That's a pretty good green right there. That's not bad at all. Let's go ahead and set that down. And then we can get our 1-inch brush. Okay. And let's go through the paint here. And I'm going to just run it through. Run it right through. And I'm really kicking it on. Look how thick the paint on that brush is. It's really important. It's really important to get it like that. Okay. So now when we go in here, we're going to go to, say, the very top. Okay. And then work our way down. And we're just angling things maybe the way that we think they should be. Run through our brush again, or run through the paint again, and we go over here. And let the bristles bend. That's how you do it. You let the bristles bend. And you don't want to destroy all the little things too. Remember that the light is coming from the right here, so when I go ahead and paint some of these things, there. I might go in and paint a few extra things here and there, but I'm not going to overdo it. Okay. There it goes. There it goes. Alright, alright. So we got that. We got that laid in. Now we're going to go ahead with a little bit more of a brighter color. Let me go ahead and set this brush aside. And let me get my palette knife back out. Okay. Like I said, we got that color. Let's go in with a little bit more chrome yellow. And let's get it. Let's get it on both sides here. Okay. Alright, I think that's a pretty good yellow right there, or a pretty good green. Alright, good. So now let's go ahead with our other 1-inch brush. 1 second. There it is. It's getting buried under all my tools there. We'll go in with our other 1-inch brush. Okay. And I'll run it through that paint again. Just like I was doing before. Now we'll go over here. And then, let's see. Just like that. Maybe. Maybe we'll go up here again and give it that a light tap. Then we'll go down right in there. And then we'll cover up some more of these things right in here. There we go. There. That's probably about good for that area. Well, let's do one more right here. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta run the brush through the chrome yellow here to get some more paint back in that action. There. Yeah, that's a real nice looking green we got. That's not bad at all. If you want, you can go ahead and mix things up and add a little bit of orange here and there. Yeah. Just like that, right there. And again, Maybe you're getting a little bit of a mix of these two colors, huh? Maybe you got some things down here that you're trying to paint. Okay. And you go back into that color that you were working with. And you go back in here. There it goes. Maybe. Okay. There it goes. Let's go ahead and throw some more of it on there. Okay. Good. So we got that. We got that. In fact, we can go ahead with a little bit more less exciting greens over here on this side. Okay, now let's go ahead and clean these off because we got a lot of dirty brushes at this point. Alright. Let's see, is this one dirty? Oh, that one's not dirty. I'm kind of surprised. I thought that one would be dirty. Nope. Okay, let's clean off the 2-inch. The other 2-inch, I should say. Because that one was clean. Sometimes I forget what brushes I'm using. That happens when you're in the act of it. A lot of times you don't really think about what you're doing when you get into it like that, you know. Okay, a lot of medium on that 2-inch. This always happens. Okay. Let's give this the wipe down. Okay, there's that one. So we got 2 brushes down. Now we got a third one we gotta clean off. Wipe down the 1-inch. Alright, now last one, let's go ahead and clean off our palette knife. And let me set my palette knife down so I can really make sure that I've got things cleaned off here. Okay. I didn't accidentally get into the bottom of my palette there because that could be a little messy later. Yeah, that could get a little messy. You want to be sure to get all that paint off your palette knife because, you know, paint is a funny way of staying on the edges. Really watch those edges. You can see how much paint I'm getting off the edges here just by really going at it. Alright, let's tear that off because I think we're just about done cleaning that. I'm going to make sure that I really got it clean. Yeah, I think I got it. Okay, we got tools that are ready to use now. Let's make sure we didn't get any paint on ourselves yet. And everything looks pretty decent. Shirt's getting a little dirty, but that's no great surprise. Okay, let's pick up the palette and get out the big palette knife now. Now, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go right about, right here. And we're going to scrape off some paint. Guess what's going to happen? We're going to paint ourselves a little bit of a windmill. Okay? And it's going to be, well, you just want to think about the shape of it. Now, it's kind of like, it's just a cylinder, more or less. A windmill is just a glorified cylinder with some slats on it. That's about the gist of it. And keep your paper towels nearby in case you need to wipe it off. In fact, I'm going to get my palette out of the way here so I can really concentrate on this. Now, the windmill is going to be right about, it's going to go down to about yay high, right there. And the reason that we're doing this, the reason that we're thinning out the paint here and making a few marks is, one, so that we have some guidelines, because that really helps when we're trying to get an idea of what we want this thing to look like, right? But it also helps us get the paint on there when we want to do all the shadows and stuff like that, because we're going to do this in 3 parts. The shadow base layer, the dark, and then we're going to do it with the highlight, and then we're going to do it with a mid-tone for a shadow highlight. If that makes sense. Yeah, okay. So let's get it right about, you want to get the angles right about right. Ooh, I think that's right. You know, if you screw it up a little bit, it's not the end of the world. Just try it again later. Okay, I think I got this. Let's go ahead and see if we can draw some things in here. Okay, I got that, and then I got this part right here. Right there. Okay. Yeah, I got it right there. Okay, I see what's happening. Okay, okay, it's gonna be a little bit of an edge right there. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of an edge. Okay. About there. Okay. Alright, I think I got an idea of the shape of this. Let's go ahead and do some very bold and daring things now. Let's go ahead and do our paint. You know what I'm going to do? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some of that blue. I'm going to get some of that phthalo green. Okay. And I'm going to get some of that red. Some of that alizarin crimson. Okay. And the green and alizarin crimson are going to make a very dark black color. And that blue is going to shift things toward blue. Alright? So in the end, our shadow is going to be pretty violet. That's pretty interesting, right? Yeah, it's going to make for a real interesting dark color. It's going to be pretty much the same dark color that we set down here already. Now, let's go ahead and set this down. And really rub it in. Really rub it in. Don't fool around with it. Rub it in. There it goes. We want to really rub that color in. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. I know I was drawing the guidelines earlier, but I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. Okay? There it goes. There it goes. And just maybe add a little something up there. There it goes. Okay. Okay. Whew. There. Well, let's go ahead and keep some of that. The rest of it we're going to wipe off. All right? That's good. That's good. Okay. So now we're going to go in and we're going to decide, well, I already did decide that one edge is going to be right there. Another edge is about right here. Okay. And another edge is about right there. Okay. So we got some ideas. And we got the top of this thing, which is going to be going around this way. Okay. That's good, that's good. Well, we can bring it out a little bit. We can bring it out a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that's good, that's good. So, let's go ahead and go up here. And what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Well, let's get some yellow first off. And then let's get some alizarin crimson. Just a little bit of alizarin crimson. We might want a little bit more than that, actually. Okay. And what we'll want here is kind of a brown color. Kind of a brown color. A very orangey brown color. And I think we got it. I mean, look at all the dark color we got in there. We got a lot of that blue in there. Now we're going to add white. And that's going to make for a nice highlight, huh? And you know what I say, always add more than you think you need. We don't want to completely annihilate everything, but we do want it to really show up, and well, it's going to show up. There's no doubt in my mind it's going to show up. Here, let me get that hair off. Oops. Come on. Yeah, sometimes drastic measures are needed. Ooh, that hair is still there. These are what we call the trials and tribulations of painting when you got long hair. Okay, let's get a little bit more in there. And I think that'll really do it. Okay? Yeah, that's going to do it. Now, let's go ahead with the little palette knife and we'll go up in here. And let's just cut across and get a very tiny little paint right there. Actually, let me go ahead and smear that off. And then let's... Now we got that little roll. Here, let me get that out of the way. I don't want to step on something accidentally. Alright, so now we're just going to go up to the top here, the tippy top. And you know what might help here is if we got maybe just a little roll of something. Let's go up here and we're going to try to create these slats, which could be easier said than done. And you want to try to follow the angles here, right? And don't be too concerned about, following the shadows exactly. Right now we're concerned about getting these angles down because they're tricky, right? Right. And at least what this is going to do, every time you need some more paint, just go ahead and go back across. What this is going to do is this is going to give us some guidelines for what we need to do with the other slats on the other side. Okay? And you just follow that and all the way down. Yeah. Okay, you notice that color, when you apply it, sticks, but it also mixes a little bit, so it looks a little bit like mottled wood when you do it. It's interesting like that, you know? Yeah, I know. That's why they do it. Okay. There you go. There we go. Okay. Maybe this is like an old wooden windmill and things are a little bit creaky and maybe they haven't refurbished it or done anything to it in a long time, and it's kind of starting to fall apart, and the wood is all rotting and everything. And that's why it looks like it's kind of Doesn't look like anyone's really doing anything with it. Okay, let's go ahead now. Actually, you know what I might want to do is get this from the other side here. Let's just do the same cut across motion, but then you kind of just angle a little bit. Angle a little bit. Okay. And you don't have to set the world on fire with these angles. Here. That's how it's done. Look at that. There you go. And when you're cutting across on the palette, you do the same thing with this. Cut it across, pull it out. First off, pulling it out would help a lot. We got a lot more paint than we need, which is a good thing. And you cut across at an angle, and you just go down. Okay, just like that. Now it kind of looks like, because of the angle here, we're looking up at this windmill, huh? That's kind of an interesting viewpoint. Pretty cool. All right. Now I got that. Whew. Whew. That's really interesting to look at. Yeah. That's not looking bad, huh? Well, I knew we could do it. I knew we could do it. Actually, let's go ahead in here and maybe want to... Yeah, I try to get things. We probably don't need to do this, but I'm a little bit fastidious. You know what they say, it takes two people to paint a painting. One person to paint it and the other person to say, stop. True words have never been spoken. Okay, let's go ahead now and go into this other side here. And we'll actually pull the paint out and cut it at an angle again. Now we're going to go over to this side where we're going to go at a slight angle right here, and there's going to be a little bit more light over here. Maybe not as much light, but there's still going to be a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay? Just a little bit. Alright. And we're not going to do too much of that right there. We're actually going to go over a few things right there. Okay, let's go ahead and scrape this paint off, because we might want some of it later. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in the course of painting. That's why you want to try to keep at least a little bit of what you've done. You don't want to throw everything away. It's not until you're done with the painting that you really go, oh, yeah, okay, I think we can maybe get rid of this now. Of course, you want to keep the paint around for the next painting. That's all good. One of my favorite things to do is to take all the old paint on the palette, scrape it up into a big old pile, and then use it as a neutral on one of the next paintings. Okay, let's take some of this shadow color that we did, and now we're just going to highlight it and make some big decisions here. What do we want to do? We want to add some blue. Okay, we'll add some blue to that. Look how nice that looks. Whew. Whew. That's a swanky color, huh? Yeah, add a little bit of phthalo green to that. Punch that up a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, do we want it to be a little lighter? Yeah, let's make it a little lighter. Not too much lighter. We just want to punch that up. Yeah. Okay. This is the reflected light of everything around it. This is reflected light, and the light, and guess where it's coming from? It's coming from the sky. So when you see shadows on a lot of things outside, they appear bluish. And it's because the sky color is getting reflected into the shadows of, well, pretty much everything that's outdoors. And now that we've made that color a little lighter than I think it needs to be, now we'll go in here and we'll start highlighting this. We'll see how it looks. And that's perfect. This is why I tell you guys, you want to make your highlight brighter than you think it needs to be. You want to make your colors more intense than you think they should be. Because when you finally get to it and you start painting, well, you'll be surprised how how different it gets when it actually winds up on the canvas. Sometimes it's kind of a shock how things look, especially when you're under a spotlight like this. All the colors look different when you're working under a light like this. But it's all good. Remember that I'm just showing you how you could paint, not how you have to paint. Because painting is a very individual thing. Art is a very individual thing, and what's for everybody is not for some people. Some of you guys out there probably don't paint at all. Some of you maybe just like to make sculptures and you like to watch people paint. It's all good. If painting's not your thing and you just like watching, who cares? Who cares? You do you. Sometimes people just want to know, boy, how do these artists do all these paintings like this? Well, this is one way you could do it. That's certainly for sure. This is one way. And if you really want to get fancy down here, you could kind of do what I'm doing a little bit and make the slats a little bigger and all that. And you can do this all day and make all kinds of wildly fanciful windmills. Do these little idyllic type things to your heart's content. But I have to get going eventually, I'm afraid. I can't stay forever, so I have to take a few shortcuts here and there. I have to ask for directions. What's the quickest way to get to Windmill Town? Okay, right there. Ooh. Yep, we're getting those highlights. Or at least those reflected light highlights. Those shadow highlights, I like to call them. Let's see, there's that one. There's that. Make sure when you're doing this that the reflected light highlights at least more or less line up with what you've painted on the boards beside it. So that way it won't look all jacked up once you're done. It'll have some semblance of being, a windmill. Because you want to capture this kind of cylinder shape. I know that it's a very geometric type of cylinder shape, but still a cylinder shape. And again, we're using the small side. We're cutting across at an angle right there, and then we're very light, with a very light touch, just gracing that shadow, that deep shadow with our presence. Okay, and you can really see things shaping up right now, huh? Yeah, this is pretty slick. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we fail. That's part of art. And if you fail, there's no shame in it, because you tried something new. And you should be proud of yourself for trying something new. It's scary to try new things, isn't it? Yeah, I know. Well, we gotta get this little bit right here. We can't just leave this all alone. Okay. Alright. We're just going to kind of go over a few things that we've done there. Ooh, that's looking nice. Okay, maybe we'll go in here a little bit. Cover some of that. Okay. And now we'll really go back in with a big gun and use the big side of that knife. And now we'll go in and just like this. Okay, maybe we need to do that. Maybe we need to do it. Who knows? Maybe we need to. Okay, and then we're gonna go right up here with that color right there, and we'll just get a little bit of color right there. There. And maybe. Maybe we'll who knows? There's going to be a little bit of a color shadow color going across here. So we'll just try to do that the best we can, because it's, you know, the windmill blades are going to be creating that lovely shadow color that you see. All right, and it goes to right about there, and kind of, you know, I'm going too crazy here. I'm going a little bit crazy. You know, being crazy is part of being an artist. I think we can leave it like that. That's looking pretty decent. Well, actually, there's one more part I really want to do. I really want to get this little lip on the edge of that tower there. Okay. So let's go ahead right here, and let me cut across with that. And now, let's go ahead here, and let's do something bold and daring, okay? Alright, we got that. And remember to follow those edges. I almost didn't follow that edge there. Ooh, that could have been risky. Could have really lost it. Almost screwed the pooch on that one, you know? Okay. Let's go in here. Okay. And then a little bit more right here. Actually, we can use the big side for this one. Let's go ahead right there. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do another bold and daring move. First, we're going to wipe off the palette knife, because the palette knife needs to get clean. Dirty knife, but doing a dirty job. Alright, now we'll cut across here, and now we'll go right up to those edges in there with that color, that shadow color right here. Yeah, ooh boy, I gotta never get enough of this. I always like painting these two-tone highlights like this. They're exciting. Kind of turns you on to really get them in there, you know? There. You gotta be careful, though. You gotta be careful. Yeah, you know, maybe if you really want to be an overachiever, you can go in with few things in here. Maybe just to let everyone know there's some separation there. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We don't need to do any more with that. And we are just piddling around, just making a mess of things. Okay. Now, let's make some more of these big decisions here. And let's go all the way from right about, okay, the eye of that is going to be right about here. Okay? The eye of the windmill is going to be right about there. And then we got one blade that's going to be right about there. Okay? And then another blade that's going to be right about here. Okay? So we're going to cut a line all the way from there and try to make it straight. Keyword try. Alright? And then we're going to take it all the way down here. And if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. It's okay. You want to just get in the ballpark. Alright? And now we're going to do a similar thing on the other side here. Going to want to try to get it right about, we'll say here. Okay. Right about there. And the other one, that other one is going to be right about here. Whew. Whew. You know, that's a big sigh of relief right there. Alright, let's cut through the middle right here. And didn't quite go where I thought it would. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that. All right, now we can go ahead with our dark color. Let's go ahead with a little bit of that blue color and some of that color that we were making. Okay. Now, what we want to do is just set that color down. Hold on, we'll get like a little roll of paint on here. Yeah. Little roll of paint, roll applies. Always and forever. It helps with making bark. Helps with making architecture. Helps with making trees sometimes. Depends what kind of tree you're making, honestly. But generally, it's really important to do that scrape maneuver where we take off a little bit of paint so we don't have too much paint on the canvas when we're trying to paint this, because that makes it so much harder. It makes it so much harder. Okay. There it is. And now we'll go over in here. And there it is. There it is. Ooh, that's nice. Whew. I know I keep saying that. I keep saying it because it never stops being true. Now, let's go ahead and picture what we want this to look like. We're going to take it right about there, and it's going to go right about this way, just like that. Okay? And we're going to just create some blades for this thing. Okay? And they're going to be a little just like that. Who knows how many there are? About that many. Yeah, well, there's like 2 things here that we can paint, so let's go ahead and throw those down. There. That's good. And maybe down in here we'll go ahead and paint the other one, starting right about here. Scrape out some of that. There. Let me put the palette down and wipe the knife off a little bit. Yeah, let's insert one more right there. And maybe, yeah, it's probably about good for that one. Okay, now let's go in here and right down at the edge there. Down at the edge, we'll go straight across, right about here. It's about to there. And we'll do the same thing with this. We'll go ahead 1, 3, 6. And there's about a dozen of these little things right here. We can go ahead and do one more right there maybe. Yeah, it's probably about good. Okay. this one right there, there. Alright. And then right about here and here, here. Let's go all the way down. Right there. And there. Okay. We got that. Now let's do this one over here, right about there. We'll carve that in. Actually, let me go ahead and just give this one a little bit of just give that one a little bit of we'll just add a little bit of ultramarine to that and brush it away. In fact, we can go ahead and take a little bit of the yellow right there and maybe there. That's fine. That's how we correct it. We just cover it up a little bit. It's fun, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay, let's go up in here. And now we can, now that I'm not screwing up, we can go ahead and create the slats for this one right here. And this one's going to have a little bit of a curve right there. Okay. So again, it's got about maybe a dozen of these little slats here, give or take. Okay. And if you don't get a couple of them, I mean, whatever. Whatever. Go all the way to the edge there. Get that. We got it. We got it. And now let's try not to screw this one up. Because I have a habit of doing that. I have a habit. I know. Alright. And then this one is going to go all the way out. Probably to here. Okay. Good, good, good. Right about there is where we're looking for. Okay. I want to keep my roll of paper towels on hand, and we're just gonna go ahead again. Get about a dozen of them in there. If it's not exact, just shrug and say to yourself, oh well. Because a lot of these things aren't real exact anyway. They kind of just, they're getting old, they're bending, and they don't look quite right. There. It's kind of easy to cover up mistakes when you paint this style. But also, it can be a little challenging if you're not careful. Alright. Okay. So let's go ahead and lay down a few things here. We're going to start with the dark color, of course. Start with the dark color here. Cut across. Don't fool around with it, just cut across. And now go ahead and put in that same color you did when you were drawing just the X's, because we drew a big old X just to mark off what this was going to look like, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Okay. There it goes. Fill in those gaps. Fill in those gaps. Okay. There it is. There it is. Alright. We have to paint these dark colors before we paint the light colors. That's why it's so important that you paint these dark colors first. I cannot stress enough how important this is. Look at that. This all seems really basic, and it is, but it does make life so much easier. And I'm starting with the, the windmill blade here that's on the windmill itself, because it makes it a little easier once we got the hard part done first. Okay. Yeah, that's the way I do it. Yeah, let's just do the hard part and get it over with, I guess. Yeah. Okay. And, don't worry if you missed a windmill blade. No one's counting. Well, they might count, but if they do, just ignore them. Because some people are just going to be pedantic. Oh, there's not actually that many windmill blades or slats. Well, do you still recognize what it is? Yeah? Okay, shut up then. Getting in the ballpark is where you want to be. Because getting in the ballpark is how you do better paintings in the long run. Oh, we didn't get enough paint off that one. That one is kind of rough. Oh well. Oh well. Sometimes you don't get enough painting, or not enough painting, but not enough paint off what you've done. And you find out pretty quickly why you should have. Because boy, does that get hard to paint. Yep. There it goes. Okay, let's go in here. Okay. There it goes. We're almost ready to paint the highlights on this bad boy, huh? Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Okay. Just around the edge here. Yeah, just like that. Okay. Let's go over this way. Get these. It doesn't matter what order you get the slats on these blades here. You want to do the long ones? Go ahead and do the long ones first. You want to do the short ones? Go ahead and do the short ones first. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There. Okay. There it goes. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, look at that. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There it goes. Sometimes you just gotta rub your knife in there. Yeah, you gotta rub your knife in there. Okay. There it goes. Yeah, these are going on a little easier. A little easier. Okay. And we'll go ahead and get the long ones again on this blade. That's pretty decent. Well, it's pretty rough, but it's okay. And we'll go ahead here and there. That's good. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Don't you worry. We got this. This is no trouble here. Okay. Let's get that dark color. We've almost got it. We've almost got it. Come on. Come on. There. Whew. Okay, let's wipe off the knife so we can get going with the rest of this. Thank goodness. Okay, now let's go ahead with a little bit of white on this color that we use for the highlights over on the main body of the windmill here. We've already got this kind of earthy looking highlight here, so we can go ahead and just smear that out, cut across, and now because the sun is coming from overhead here. Actually, let's go ahead like this, I think. Yeah, let me use the other side of the knife. Sometimes it's easier just to go ahead and use the other side, just like that. Okay. Yeah, what we're doing, we're having too much fun. Okay, okay. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead to this other one right here. And the sun's probably going to be, sun's not going to be hitting the bottom of that. It's going to be hitting it right about, well, we might be able to get away with hitting it right there. Yeah, that's good. And you got to pay attention to the way that the sun's going to be hitting. So, sun's going to be hitting right about there. That's good. Alright, so let's go in here. Come on. Come on. There it is. Cut across. There we go. Where the sun is hitting it. And actually we can go in here and get these, because the sun's going to be hitting it from that side. Okay. Alright. Good. This can be tedious work, but you know, that's why we got the small side of this small palette knife to do work like this. You know, you want to try to apply the paint thinly, but sometimes paint's got ideas of its own and it goes on just thick, like gloop, gloop. That's how it goes, gloop. That's exactly the sound it makes, gloop. Alright. Enough being silly here. I wonder if we can get away with just Yeah, I think that'll work. We don't have to be too fastidious, I don't think. There it goes. Yeah, sometimes we just gotta get moving. Because that way we're doing it. Ooh, that's gonna take forever. Ooh, yeah, it really glooped on there, didn't it? Yeah, it did. That's why I keep telling you. Smear it out, cut across. Because if you don't, paint's gonna get some funny ideas about how it's supposed to look. Whew. Okay. Right about here. Okay. Alright, there it goes. This one's gonna do some funny things over this way, I think. Okay. And what we're doing here is we're not applying really any pressure. We're really trying to let the paint break. Okay? So, if it's not breaking for you, the paint that you put on for the shadow might be a little too thick. So you might need to go back and scrape some more of it out. If it's kind of just sliding around a little bit, I think it'll still work. It's not the end of the world then. A lot of times when I do this, the paint will slide sometimes. Okay. And then sun is hitting it from yay angle. So we'll go right about here. Whew. That's when I start sounding like an owl, is when we got these tricky parts like this. That's how you know it's tricky, if I start hooting. Whew. Yeah. Painting buildings like this is tricky business. Now, let's not forget this one right here. Ooh, ooh. There it goes. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get this other one over here. Because we gotta paint this last one, don't we? Well, same rules apply. Go in. And boy, I don't want to screw up my painting. Better watch it. Okay. There it goes. Goes. Okay, right here. Just like that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, alright. Sometimes it trips me up. Trips me up a little bit to do this. That's okay. I've almost got this highlight done. Wait. There it goes. There's that one. Okay. Alright. Okay. Okay, so now we got one more part to the house, to those blades. We're off to a pretty decent start. Whew. Whew. Now I'm turning in owl mode again, but really, whew. Okay, let's add a little bit of that phthalo green into that blue that we made. And ooh, I don't know. This might be too much. This might be too much. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of blue in there. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So now we'll take some white over into this color. And this is pretty much what we want. This is pretty much what we want right here. Let's take just a little bit more white, because you know what I say. You always want to make things a little brighter than you think they should be. It's a good rule to live by here. Otherwise, well, you might find yourself hurting. Okay, let's go ahead and smear that out a little bit. Okay, that's too much. That's too much paint right there. We need to smear that out a little bit more. There, that's better. There's that roll of paint. Okay. Okay. Now let's go along the edge here. And with this color, we're going to craft the shadowy color of this windmill. Okay. Right about there. Okay. Alright. And then right about here is where there's going to be a little bit more. Okay. There's going to be a little bit of something right. Well, let's go ahead with the small side right here. Okay. All right, there it is. Okay. And right about in here is going to be some things going on. Right there. There it is. Okay. Let's decide how we want to approach this. Let's decide. So right about there. Okay. We'll just get a little bit of that color in on all these other sides here. Good. That paint is getting a little thick for my liking. Oh well. Okay. Let's just give it a little bit of encouragement down here. Here. Let's. Okay. Now we can finally get that color down there. Good. just like this. You can do each individual little slat. Sometimes that's too time consuming though. Your painting will probably look a little better. But we gotta move along here because we still got a bunch of stuff to paint. You know what I mean? Yeah. There it goes. Okay. Luckily we got a lot of this color, so we can just pull down some more of it if we need it. Makes it real easy to paint it. Yep. Okay. There it is. All right. Okay. Okay. There it goes. Okay. Okay. Now we got one more blade we gotta do this with. Whew. Yeah, there's my old sounds again. I know. I know. Okay. And then all right. All right. Most of that is done, I think. Now let's go ahead and wipe off the palette knife. That is no joke painting all that. Okay. Okay. Now let's go with our liner brush, I think. Now we'll go into, well, you know what I think I should do? I'll just get out my, we gotta wipe off this other knife too. This knife is pretty dirty. Actually, both knives are pretty dirty. go ahead and I'm going to wipe this off on the palette because you never know when we might need more of that paint. There it goes. You never know when you might need that. So we don't want to throw it away quite yet. Quite yet. Okay, we'll just wipe that off like that. And this one's still pretty dirty. Still got a lot of that teal color. Oopsie daisies. It's okay. It's okay. Now, pull that off and throw that away. Now, let's go into our rose turpentine with maybe, well, I don't want to get the liner brush. I want a larger brush for this kind of action. Okay, now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of that color, that darker color right here, before we mix it up with white. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of smear it on the brush. So we got a lot of paint on there. And now I've got kind of a dark color I can play with. And then maybe, there it is. Maybe we've got a little bit of a color we can throw back on the windmill here. Hold on. Let me get that color right. There it is. Still got some of the color we were using before. Okay. Okay, good. Now let's that. And you know what? I probably didn't even need to do this, but it felt like I needed to. But I probably should have just skipped it. Okay. There it goes. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. That's good. That's pretty good for our windmill. Let's move on to the next part. Right after I clean off a couple of brushes here. Yeah. I don't know if that's the approved way to clean off a round brush, but that's the way we just did it. Well, it is most definitely ready to paint again. Okay, let's clean off this here 1-inch brush. Alright, now let's go ahead, and I think we're going to go ahead with the 2-inch brush here, and we're going to, I know what we're going to do. We're going to pull out more of the blue and more of that green, and a touch of the red. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go in, and after tapping in that color, we are going to kind of just cover some things up, because there's a lot of flowers and stuff here at the bottom right here. A lot of flowers and grass, and there's also a little stone ledge. Ooh, getting a little too colorful there. Okay, Tell you what we can do. Let's just cover this all up. And you know, the color should be a little bit darker at the foreground, I think. You know how it is with painting and atmosphere and stuff. Colors tend to get a little lighter as you go back, but a little darker as you go forward. So we're gonna keep this dark blue color going. There. You know what? There's gonna be a little bit of a rock landscape surrounding the windmill here. But I'm gonna keep what I'm doing here. And just get the rest of that grass in there. Because you know how it is. You know how it is. We've got a lot of grass. Sometimes we need a little bit more phthalo green in this, I think. Maybe just a touch of blue. Okay? Ooh, yeah, that's nice and dark. Ooh, baby. Yeah, that's nice and dark, isn't it? Whew. Okay. That's good. That's good. You know what we can do? We can go in here with the 1-inch brush to make some darks. And we can get a little bit more of a sense of, I don't know. Maybe we got more flowers up in here that we want to capture. Maybe we got some more, maybe we got a bush right in there. Yeah, just lots more flowers and stuff. You can do this with a fan brush, you can do this with a 1-inch brush. Do it however you want. But I'm just throwing some stuff in here. Yeah, throwing some stuff in. There. Yeah, we're covering up a lot, aren't we? Yeah, we are. You know what we can do? Ooh, I got a little too much crimson up in that phthalo green there. Let's get some blue here. And, you know, phthalo green ain't going to be overpowered by no crimson. Let me clue you on that one. Nope. Nope. There. Look at how dark that is. Oof. Look how dark that is. That is wonderful. Okay. That's good. Now, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead with... Ooh, I'm going to get a fan brush for this one, I think. And we need something tiny to do all these light touches here. So let's go ahead and... Ooh, I'm just going to wipe the fan brush through that yellow paint, that chrome yellow. We'll go in here with our mix, wipe it on both sides, and then over here, just like that. Yeah. And we'll get a little bit of grass going and let that paint mix with what's happening in the foreground. We'll stop right about here, I think. Get a little bit more of that yellow in some areas than others. Okay. And then we'll start all over again. Let's go ahead with the yellow right here. Try to let the bristles here bend up. With the fan brush it's a little harder, but You can do it. You can do it. Okay. And that's what we're going to do. Okay. And we'll go up in here. And then run that brush through the yellow paint again. Just like that. Let's stop right about there. Okay? Alright. So let's go ahead and clean this off. It's going to take a little bit to clean all that paint off that fan brush. Whew, boy. That brush had a lot of paint on it. Okay. Little hummingbird there. Butter, 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 butter. It's fun the way it makes that noise. Okay. Yeah, I think the fan brush here is good and clean. Much to my surprise. Okay. Well, we can probably keep that around for right now. I was about to tear it off, but I don't know. I don't know. So let's go up in here, and I think with our liner brush, we can take some of these colors that we got happening right here, and maybe we'll just make some accents. Because maybe we got that one go right there. Yeah, maybe we got little things up here. Who knows? Who knows? If you need more odorless turpentine, go in there and get it. And just run it through all that green paint that's over on your yellow pile. The pile of yellow that you're using. Because it's probably turning green at this point. And you know what? Try to get some really bright yellows in there. Really bright yellows. You gotta get a little creative and run your brush really through it. Just like that. Whew. Yeah. Yeah. And we'll go in here and maybe... Yeah. And over here. Yeah, look at all that. Look at all that. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Let's just do one more like right here. Just like that, okay? Now we can clean off the liner brush a little bit. And we're going to add some little final accents with the liner brush for this section. We're not done with the painting quite yet. I'm afraid not. That would be wild if we were done with it already, huh? I'm just going to leave this section unfinished. No. We got to go into the vermilion. And then we got to put some things in here. Because like right here, you know, there's going to be a little bit of color right there. And there's going to be, there's just going to be some accents. That's really all there is to this. You got some flowers over there that are growing, so you want to get them. Let it cover some parts of the windmill here. I keep wanting to call it a lighthouse because I paint a lot of lighthouses, but it's a windmill. Make no mistake about that. We got that there. These are just little abstract shapes that you see in nature and stuff. I mean, if you really want to, you can go into with the chrome yellow, create some nice little oranges on there. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Maybe you want to throw some stuff in there. Yeah, something a little more orange like that, maybe. Down there. Does that look cool? Yeah, it does. Take a little bit more, maybe. Get that nice yellow orange going. You can make some really bright colors with that chrome yellow and vermilion. You can make those bright colors all day long. Okay. We'll just add one down there. Oh, that looks fun, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? Well, I think maybe I got a little bit more of an orange. Let's go ahead and, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll throw another orange there and one there. And the rest of what I want to put on there is going to be vermilion. So run that odorous turpentine through the vermilion. Get it nice and soupy. Soupy might not be the right word, but it's the word we're using. Okay. Let's go ahead here. And then we'll go up in here. There it is. Now we'll, ooh, that was beautiful. Yeah, just these little things here, all these little accents really make the painting that much more fun. It really draws people's attention when you add some really deep reds like that, some really bright reds. Yeah, this vermilion really adds a lot to a painting. It's one of those colors you can't just get enough of. And remember, we're just painting shapes. We're not going overboard here. We're not doing anything too crazy. We're just painting little flowers that you see over all these things. You use your brush to draw little random shapes. We're blocking the big ones. And we just draw stuff. That's all there is to it. We'll add some more yellow and get that orange color. Because guess what? Maybe there's a little bit more of that orange color over here. There. Maybe there's a little bit of it down there too. Okay. That's about enough, I think. We don't need to do any more with that. We don't need to do any more with that. No. Let's go ahead with this this knife. And let's maybe scrape some stuff out right here. Okay. Because we got a little stone cropping. It's going to be going from yay to about yay. Here. Yeah, just like that. Okay. We got that. Go ahead and set this down for a second. There it goes. Okay. Just leave the paper towels right there for right now. Alright, so let's go ahead. And I think we're going to use kind of a burnt umber type color. So let's take some of this color we've been using and get a little bit of chrome yellow. Okay. And I'm trying to get a better view of it because the light shines on it a lot. Alright, we got that. We got the chrome yellow. And we got the Elysium crimson. Okay. And we got ourselves a pretty dark color here. I'll go ahead. Get a little bit of blue in there. And I think this color is pretty well set. Let's go in now. This dark color and just get a little bit more of that blue in there to make it even darker. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to smear it in. The great smear. There it goes. we're gonna go up here a little bit. There it goes. Just a little bit more right there. Okay. Just like that. Yeah. And maybe we'll pull it down just a little bit more. That's good. That's good. Okay. So now that we got that, let's go ahead and add a little bit of white to the color over here. And let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Yeah. Maybe we got like a whole mix of different stones and stuff. Maybe we want to add a little bit more blue on that and get that a little grayer. Yeah, that's a good gray looking color, huh? Nice and mottled. All right. Don't want to mix it up too much. Don't want to mix it up too much. How's that look? That doesn't look bad. All right. So let's just go ahead and we'll just drag this down. Okay. Because maybe we got a couple of things going here. We got all this stone stuff. Just let the paint break. You got all kinds of little stones happening. You don't have to do hardly anything here. Just drag that knife. Let them happen. Okay. That's about all there is to that one. And, you know, we can wipe this on the palette because, you know, who knows? We might want it. We might want it later. It pays to save stuff sometimes. Let's wipe the knife off. Ooh, sometimes I like going out and looking at things like this, going to see little secluded places like this where we see just the odd lighthouse here and there, and sometimes you get a view of a picture that looks so nice, and you paint it and you snap a picture and everything because you want to capture how, at least as close to how it's going to look as you think it will, because the camera doesn't capture pictures exactly, but you also paint it so you get a better impression of what it actually looks like. Unless you paint real abstractly, then you have no idea what it looks like. I kid. Here, let's go ahead with the, you know what, let's go ahead with the fan brush on this one. The fan brush, I think, is going to be able to capture all the things that we need to do here a little better. There. Okay. Maybe we got some things that are spilling out over here. And yeah, maybe there's some stuff's just spilling out over on those rocks there. And you got, I don't know, maybe this one over here and all that, and yeah, that's cool. Ooh. That's good. Okay. Now we're going to be able to go down to, with our flat brush here, our 2-inch flat brush, and God willing, we won't get paint on ourselves. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a lot of this yellow paint, a lot of that yellow paint. I'm just going to wipe it through, okay? And I'm going to bend the bristles up, okay? And I'm going to go where I think the brightest color needs to be. Okay? because a lot of that bright color is going to be down near the front here. Okay. Here, let's do some more right here. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. And you know, down in here you can get a few green things going. You don't want to get too much green because we got another color that we want to insert right here. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some of this orange color. I'm going to get some of the vermilion here into that greenish color. I'm going to add a little bit of white. So I'll pull down some white and get it on the brush there. I'll get some more of my vermilion till I got, well, let's go ahead and make it a little brighter than we think it should be, because you know how it is. You know how it is. Here, I'm going to get a little bit of yellow on that again. Yeah, because I want that to be a little bit more orange than I think it should be too. There it goes. There it goes. It's okay, so that's caked on. Now, ooh, 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 look at that. Look at that color. Oh, that is a thing of beauty right there. Whew. Oh. That's exactly what I was looking for. Oh, thank you. Thank you, mighty palette. Pardon me if I sound like I'm worshiping a bit right now. Here, let's get a little bit more vermilion in there. A little bit more of that green and yellow color. And a little bit more of the white. And a little bit more vermilion. And a little bit more of the yellow. Having too much fun. Having too much fun here. There. Ooh, we still got that color. Oh, we didn't mess it up. I was afraid that we might mess it up a little bit, but no, we didn't. Here. Okay. There it goes. Yeah, we'll go up here too. And then we'll go all the way over this way. There it goes. Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. All right, let's clean off these brushes. Let's clean off these brushes because they're mighty dirty. Oops. I accidentally, fan brush accidentally took a tumble there. Oh well. Oh well. Go on over here. Clear off our liner brush, who once again has come to save the day for us. Give him a little hummingbird on the edge of the easel right there. Okay, he's good to go. Wash off the 1-inch. Okay. Good. Let's go ahead and drop that down. Things are getting a little messy here. When the paper towels start to get a little messy, that's a clue that you should probably watch what you're doing. Because God knows paint has a funny way of getting everywhere. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Got a lot of dirty brushes here. I've just gone a while without cleaning anything off. Set that down so I can wipe this off. Yeah, let's do a check here. Did I get any paint on myself today? Any paint on myself? It doesn't look like I've got any paint on me. Uh-oh. No, that was already there. Trying real hard not to get any paint on myself, but you know what? Seems like the harder you try, the more you get on you. Oh, it seems inevitable sometimes. Boy, we got all the brushes we used. Good Lord. Okay. Okay, fan brush, here you go. Here you go, buddy. Oh, he's clean. He's clean. Okay. We got that. Alright. Let's take... Here, let me hold on to this because I might need it. Alright. All the brushes are cleaned off. Thank goodness. Wait, did we get a little paint on that one? Oh, we haven't even used this brush. It got paint on it. We'll just give that guy a little bit of TLC. Get him going. And he's on his way. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and add a few things here. Let's take the 1-inch brush with some of the yellow, chrome yellow. Let's just add a little bit of color where it needs it. Might wind up using all of our yellow today. If that happens, oh well. Because sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. There it is. Don't be afraid to go in here too. And all these little creases where, you know, maybe we want like a more of a middle green type color down in here. Okay, maybe we do. What if we do? Okay. There it is. Okay. Maybe we'll go up in here and just a light touch there. And some other light touches down in here. And we'll really get some yellow down right here. And okay, good stuff. Good stuff there. Okay, let's take that and then take the other 1-inch brush and we'll go into this paint with the vermilion, chrome yellow with all that green in it, a little bit of white. Now, there it is. Okay. Cool. It should probably be a little bigger here. Because, you know, there's that patch of what looks like grass that's maybe dying or a little bit of some soil or something. There it goes. There it goes. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and clean off the brushes now. Alright, and that one should be good. Well, let's give them a wipe down to make sure. Okay, get all the medium off that. And all the medium off that one, or I should say the odorless turpentine. And with our liner brush comes the coup de grace, where we go into the vermilion. And we just sign the initials. S. Oops. I didn't quite get it that time. S. Okay. Here. There it goes. Yeah, that one had some thick paint on it, didn't it? A little bit here. There. That's good enough. Okay, let's get the paint off of that. Okay. That should be pretty good for all of our brushes today. I think they're all cleaned off. Yeah. For once, we're not spending a bunch of time cleaning all of our brushes at the end of this. Maybe we're finally getting this right. Make sure that all your knives have all the paint off the edges and all the other stuff is cleaned off. Make sure that you got both knives cleaned off. Make sure all your brushes don't have any paint on them. Because if you don't clean off your brushes, you're going to be hurting later. And now it looks like we got ourselves a nice little windmill painting over here. Huh? Yeah, this painting turned out really well. I'm pretty happy with this one. I think it's about time that, well, I have to leave you again. Really hope you enjoyed this, and I absolutely love the way this one turned out. I had a lot of fun painting this one. It's a very simple painting with a deceptively simple structure, but it's also a little bit more complex than you might think because of the way that the windmill is constructed here. That's why it's so much fun, and that's why it's so interesting to look at, with all the slats like that and all the flowers in front of it. And it makes a very strong focal point. Obviously, first thing you look at when you look at it, it's going to be the windmill. Anyway, give this one a try. See how you think you can do. Maybe you can do it better than I can. I have no idea. But until next time, with love from me to you, bye-bye.